Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope your day and your weekend are going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 4 MLB player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's MLB slate. But first, guys, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how I did last night. Jumping on over to Guy Boston Sports, another day and another loss. Unfortunately, this cold streak, we can't shake it just yet. Continues for one more day. We did have a really good start with this 5-leg parlay. Of course, yesterday was Freaky Friday. Freeman, Crochet, and Wyatt Langford all cashed the first 3 legs, and Crochet was definitely a sweat. We were off to a good start, and then all we had was the last 2 player props in the later games. And as what happens, I think this is the second time I bet a Freddie Freeman prop when he's like minus 300 or higher, and I get absolutely screwed on it. Freeman and Alec Thomas both failed to deliver for us, so it is another losing day, unfortunately. But you know what, guys? That was yesterday. It's in the past. It's in the peripheral view. We're not going to worry about it anymore. We got a new day. We got fresh 4 new player props to share with you guys in today's MLB slate. I know the last couple of weeks have not been the best, but don't forget what happened before that. Before the vacation, don't forget we were on a 55-25 run. Well, you know what preceded that 55-25 run? A 12-25 start. You know what's happening right now? Our second cold streak of the year. You know what's going to follow this cold streak? Another scorching hot streak. So this is the ebbs and flows of sports betting, guys. We're cold now. We won't be cold for much longer. I guarantee you that. Hopefully today we turn that around. Until we turn it around, though, I will be lowering my units back down to 0.75 or 3/4 of a unit because we cannot afford to keep taking these massive losses when we're ice cold like we are right now. But, and I'm not wearing the shirt right now. That's why we have the brand Fade Me, right? When I'm cold like this, just go ahead and fade me. Just bet the opposite if you want to. Or don't. Up to you entirely. My job is just to give you guys the analysis and the picks. It's up to you guys to decide what to do with them. So, with all that being said, let's dive right into today's MLB picks. Jumping right into the outlier screen, guys, our first player prop in today's video comes from the Blue Jays-Phillies game, 4:05 p.m. first pitch. We have Bowden Francis of the Toronto Blue Jays over 2.5 earned runs. We're grabbing that for minus 130 over on DraftKings, but it is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. Actually, pretty much every sports book I can think of carries this player prop. As always, guys, make sure to go ahead and shop around for the best sportsbook odds available. And if your significant other, your loved ones tell you, why are you betting on multiple sportsbooks at the same time? You're a degenerate. Just tell them, Tasso told me it was okay. Probably won't get you very far, but hey, at least you have someone to put the finger at and put the blame on. But Bowden Francis, over 2.5 earned runs. 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed his over. He's giving up 3.4 earned runs per game over the last 10 games, which is crazy because he had a really phenomenal year last year with Toronto. Looking at 2024 last year, he only had cashed this over in 4 of 13 starts, a 31% hit rate on the over. He only gave up 1.92 earned runs per game last year for Toronto. This season, however, and if we go ahead and search the data out, a very different story. Same number of games, double the amount of cashes on the over. 8 out of 13 starts this year, he's cashed the over. That's a 62% hit rate, averaging 3.15 earned runs per game this year. So all we need him to do is continue to bet to cash the line, continue to hit that average that he's been at all year long. And the head-to-head data is pretty strong here. See, each of the last 2 matchups with the Philadelphia Phillies, he's cashed the over, averaging 4.5 earned runs per game over the last 2 matchups. Now, one of them was from September from last year, and one of them was from less than 2 weeks ago on June 3rd. He had 6 earned runs in that game. Was a brutal start, and this is not a good matchup for him. The insights provided by Outlier, just kind of reiterating the same thing we just talked about. Bowden Francis has exceeded 2.5 earned runs in 7 of his last 9 games, giving up 3.7 earned runs per game over the last 9 games. And yes, that is, of course, a 78% hit rate. And looking down below, what I mean by this is not a good matchup for Bowden Francis, look at the Phillies batting versus right-handed pitchers this year. Batting average top 10, both in the overall category and the last 30 game category. Top half of the league in BABIP, OBP. Slugging is a little lower. WRC plus, especially over the last 30 games, a little lower than you'd like, but some really good numbers there. And obviously, Bowden Francis this year, the 8th percentile in batting average allowed, 7th percentile in ERA. All of his numbers really, his FIP is unbelievably bad. I want to show you guys down here because Bowden Francis does very much struggle versus left-handed hitters. But he also very heavily utilizes the fastball, right? 57.7% of his pitches this year are fastballs, and then the next best one is splitter. But looking at the fastball this year, he is not in a good matchup here. You got a lot of guys in this Phillies lineup who can destroy him with the fastball. Look at JT Realmuto, 445 WOBA. Kyle Schwarber, 504 WOBA. You keep going down like Trey Turner, right? 406. Nick Castellanos, 365. Max Kepler, 378. You've got some guys in this lineup that can absolutely destroy him with the fastball. And then look at the splitter, not as good, but you just still have Realmuto really strong, Alec Baum really strong, Nick Castellanos incredibly strong, so not as good. But for this fastball, which again, more than half of his pitches are fastballs, you got a lot of guys in this Phillies lineup who can do some damage. So really solid first player prop to kick off today's video. Next up, our second player prop in today's video, we have Athletics Royals 4:10 p.m. first pitch. We have Denzel Clark of the Athletics over half a total base. We're grabbing that one for minus 155 on BetMGM. It's gone up a little bit since I started recording. Available on ESPN Bet, Hard Rock Bets, on these other places for a little bit better. Minus 150 is usually my cap for straight bets, but I'll stretch the rules a little bit. We'll do minus 155 over on BetMGM. Data is pretty strong here for Denzel Clark. He's cashed the over in 7 of his last 10 games, averaging 0.9 hits per game total bases, which is technically the same thing. 0.9 total bases per game over the last 10 games. 1 total base is a single. So if he gets a hit, he cashes the over. It's basically the same thing. But if you go over to the over half a hits page, the odds actually aren't as strong. So it's actually smarter to go ahead and bet his total bases, even though it literally is the same thing. Now, he's only played 18 games this year for the Athletics, but he's cashed the over in 10 out of 18 games, averaging 0.89 total bases per game overall this year. That is a 56% hit rate. Now, he has no data from last year to go off of. So all we have are these 18 games. So it's going to be a small sample size across the board when it comes to the data. Keep that in mind when tailing this player prop. But he's been very, very solid, especially with he had a really bad start, right? Look at a lot of zeros there in the first 6 games. He only cashed the over in 1 of his first 6 games. Since then, he's cashed it in 9 of his last 12 games. So it's been a really solid run here for the A's. And looking down below at the key matchup stats, again, take it with a grain of salt. The fact that Clark has only played in 18 games. He only has 61 plate appearances total this season. Now, overall, his numbers aren't great. 203 batting average, 423 BA, BIP. His numbers versus right-handed pitchers, and again, I'll say it one more time just in case you didn't hear me, be aware of the small sample size. Only 45 batters faced. Plate appearances, excuse me. Only 45 plate appearances versus right-handed pitchers so far this year. So a very small sample size. Take it with a grain of salt. Last time I'm going to mention the small sample size in this player prop. But the numbers are significantly larger, right? 279 batting average. Massive increase versus in comparison to 203. That means in the limited plate appearance he has versus left-handed pitchers, he has been absolutely abysmal. But 279 batting average, 550 BA, BIP. ISO's a little bit low, but overall, not terrible. Like I said, pretty good hitting numbers for him when facing off with right-handed pitchers. And you see Michael Lorenzen this year versus right-handed batters struggling a bit. 570 ERA, 276 batting average allowed, slugging, extra base hit percentage, all in the green, all pretty high. So a little bit of trepidation because obviously Clark does not have a lot of miles under him, but you know what? I think it's a pretty good matchup. He's been on a pretty solid run of late, so I'll go ahead and take my chances here with this over as the second player prop in today's video. We're about to hit the 9-minute mark in today's video, guys, so if you are still watching at this point, please comment 9 down below. As always, guys, we appreciate those who watch through each and every single video. Myself, Ev, and Trey put a lot of hard work into these. Regardless if we win or we lose, a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Not so much blood, but more sweat and tears goes into making these videos. So we appreciate you guys who do watch all the way through. So make sure to comment 9 down below in the comment section if you're still watching at this point. All right, guys, our third player prop in today's video. We're moving on to Yankees Red Sox, 7:15 p.m. first pitch. We have Paul Goldschmidt of the Yankees over half a strikeout. We're grabbing it for minus 150 over on DraftKings, but you can find it on a couple of different sports books. However, minus 244 underdog, minus 280 on Sleeper, minus 150 on DraftKings seems like a steal in comparison. Almost forgot to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads watching, and all the people who have. That was going to say something really that was going to come out really messed up. I was going to say everybody who has a dad, but Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Wow, that was bad. To those who don't have fathers, I do apologize for that, for whatever the circumstance may be. But Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, whether they're watching, whether you're celebrating your own father. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there in the world. All the dads, all the people who aren't dads but take the role of a dad, stepdads, all those kind of things, father-in-laws. Happy Father's Day. I gotta start drinking coffee before I start doing these. But yeah, Happy Father's Day. Actually, the reason I brought it up is because I'm actually going to the game tomorrow, Red Sox Yankees for Father's Day, taking my dad out for Father's Day for Red Sox Yankees. First time he's been in the stadium in a couple of years, so it's gonna be a good time. So Happy Father's Day. Hope you guys all enjoy it. Third player prop is Paul Goldschmidt over half a strikeout. Pretty good numbers too. He's cashed the over in 8 of his last 10 games, averaging 1.3 strikeouts per game over the last 10 games. Now, each of his last 2, he has failed to cash the over. To me, that just means he's due for one. So, pretty solid numbers across the board here for Paul Goldschmidt. The overall season data for him in 2025, a 56% hit rate on the over. 37 out of 66 games, he's cashed the over, averaging .73 strikeouts per game this season. So pretty good numbers across the board. Like I said, the last 10 data is really, really strong. The overall numbers are solid. Could be better, but not bad. And from a head-to-head perspective, 6 of his last 7 matchups with the Boston Red Sox, he's cashed the over. That's an 86% hit rate, averaging 1.43 strikeouts per game across the last 7 matchups with Boston. Now, he actually cashed it in 6 consecutive matchups with the Red Sox going into last night's game, and he did not strike out last night, which is crazy because Crochet was dealing. But pretty good track record versus Boston in terms of cashing the over. And he's actually played him 4 times this year already, and he's cashed the over in 3 of the 4 matches. Now, we're not going to go to the insight provided by Outlier because the insight literally just reiterates that he's cashed the over in 8 of his last 10 games, which we already talked about. But looking down below at the key matchup stats here, Goldschmidt versus Hunter Dobbins, very small sample size, just 2 plate appearances since 2018, and nothing. He didn't get a hit, no strikeouts either though, so not really much to go off of there. Goldschmidt having a very successful year with the Yankees, however, versus right-handed pitchers, you do see all of his numbers where Goldschmidt would not want them to decrease, they decrease, and where he would not want them to increase, they increase. Right, strikeout percentage goes up, batting average goes down, WOBA goes down. So he's definitely worse off versus right-handed pitchers than he is versus left-handed pitchers. And looking at Hunter Dobbins, his numbers also increase in a favorable way when facing off with right-handed batters like Paul Goldschmidt. So you see that 19.6% strikeout rate, 19.3% strikeout rate. That's the key right there to this player prop. Seeing those 2 high strikeout numbers, the strikeouts per walk, the low walk percentage, all those things, they're favorable for us in this matchup. So pretty solid spot here. All right, guys, on our 4th and final player prop in today's video, we're moving on to the Giants-Dodgers game, 10:10 p.m. first pitch. We got Michael Conforto of the Dodgers under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. We're grabbing it for -140 over on DraftKings. And the data across the board on this player prop is very strong. 7 of his last 10 games, Michael Conforto has cashed the under, averaging just .9 hits, runs, RBIs per game over the last 10 games. You go ahead and stretch the data out to the entire season view, a 68% hit rate on this under. 42 out of 62 games, he's cashed the under, averaging just 1.13 hits, runs, RBIs per game this year. A couple of big cashes early in the year, but honestly, a pretty consistent sea of green there in terms of cashing the under. And then from a head-to-head perspective, we just have last night's game to go off of, but he did not record anything. No hits, no runs, and no RBIs. It was a 6-2 loss for the Dodgers last night. We also have the insights provided by Outlier. By the way, guys, shout out to Outlier, the best sports betting tool on the market. If you like what you've seen so far here in this video or in any of my player prop videos here on the channel, make sure to go ahead and check out Outlier. The link is down below in the description. 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. I'm only showing you guys a little bit of what Outlier provides. There is so much more insight, so much more information to get off Outlier, but the only way to check it out completely is to check it out for yourself. So link down below in the description, 7-day free trial. But the insight provided by Outlier here, Michael Conforto has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 4 of his last 5 games at home. He's averaging just 0.4 hits, runs, RBIs per game over the last 5 home games. And yes, it does include, obviously, last night's game versus the Giants. So really solid data, and honestly, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get worse, it actually gets better when looking at the key matchup stats down below. Michael Conforto, a 172 batting average this year overall with a 77.6 WRC plus versus right-handed pitchers like Landon Roop. Michael Conforto, 156 batting average, 68.8 WRC plus. So some nice little decreases there in the data. And looking at Landon Roop here, solid numbers overall. Not bad, not great. But versus left-handed batters, we do see some nice decreases in our favor. Batting average allowed, home runs per 9, WOBA. The only thing, ERA has a slight uptick, but it's nothing to worry about. Overall, it seems to be a pretty solid matchup. If you look at Michael Conforto versus the pitch arsenal, overall 279 WOBA, 25.4% strikeout percentage. Landon Roop very heavily utilizes both the curveball and the sinker. Looking at Conforto versus the curveball, 178 WOBA, 44.4% strikeout rate. And then we also have 183 WOBA, 24% strikeout rate. I actually want to go ahead and after seeing that, this might be a live addition to the slate. What is his strikeout prop at? Over half. Let's see. You're watching live how this works. So just 4 of his last 10. He is cashing at a 68% hit rate though this year, which is pretty good. He didn't strike out last night. It's minus 150, but 25.4. That's obviously high. Landon Roop, his numbers do drop a little bit versus left-handed batters. I could be doing this while I'm not recording, but I want you guys to kind of see what the process is like for picking player props. Yeah, this is really good. Like this is just to give you guys a note on how to use Outlier. Like this is what you look for. That's good. I don't know why it shows red, but that's really good. That's not so much good. This is good. This is good. This is not great. 21.2 overall, 17.1. That drop is not ideal, as well as the strikeouts per walk. But these two really get me excited. The fact that he has a 44.4% strikeout rate versus the curveball and 24% versus the sinker, which actually is a little bit lower than his overall numbers, but his WOBA is very low. Even changeup, it's a little bit better there. But I'm going to throw this one on too. Screw it. It's Saturday, last day of the week for us. No video tomorrow. Let's just go for it. We're going to add Michael Conforto over half a strikeout here as the 5th play in today's video. Little audible there. Added an extra play last second. And the data is actually not great from a recent standpoint. The overall numbers are fantastic, right? 68% hit rate on the year. Really phenomenal. But the last 10 game data, 40%. Just one of his last 5. Last 20 game, 50%. He's definitely gotten a little bit better of late. But the overall numbers are very, very stronger. So we'll go ahead and add that to the slate here just because those numbers down here really excite. That 44.4% strikeout rate and that 24% is very, very strong. So we'll go ahead and rock with that as the 5th and final player prop in today's video. So you guys got a bonus prop. So there you go. But guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I'll be back on Monday with another MLB player prop video. We have no videos on Sundays. I know I did one last week and I missed a couple of days. I probably should do one tomorrow, but Father's Day, early Red Sox game, 1:30 p.m. First pitch. If you guys are at Fenway Park, you want to say hello, I will be there tomorrow. So if you guys are at the Red Sox game, don't be afraid to give me a little hey. If you see me there, if you want to meet up, no problem at all. But yeah, I'll be back on Monday with another MLB player prop video. Until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And we'll see you back here on Monday. Until then, let's go ahead and make some money, baby. Come on, we need it.